Welcome to So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. Are you evaluating your career in real estate? Feel like you're ready for a fresh start? Or ready to take your career to the next level? This is your podcast. Welcome back to So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. This is Season 7, Lessons in Success. I'm your host, Meredith Fogle, and I have a very special guest with us today. She's actually our second guest of Season 7, and she has so much to impart to everybody here. She's a coaching client, she's a friend, she is an amazing top producer. She leads a team. I mean, she has it all going for her and an amazing fashion sense. I just want to add, which you can see, I'm sure, right now. So Caroline Decherd, welcome to the show. Caroline is in the San Antonio area, and I was recently. I think I talked to you about this, and I was recently singing your praises to somebody else because one of the things we talked about at a recent Tom Ferry event is the difference between outliers and underperformers. And you like check every box in that outlier category. I come off our coaching calls as energized as you probably do, and I just you're this wonderful collaborative, creative person, and just a wonderful implementer and a great business leader. So super excited to have our audience learn from you today. So Caroline, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Hello from San Antonio, Texas.
Are you cold down there? I'm curious. We're like in a
Yes,
freeze
we
here
are
right
cold here. It was really cold this weekend. The school's closed, nobody
now.
goes to work, and it's going to get cold again this weekend. So
Yeah.
I just enjoy it while it lasts because soon enough it'll be very hot.
Right, because it's like you guys have, I guess, fewer seasons, right? There,
So,
you get a little bit of
yeah, basically it's summer and then a few cold days. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So, what would you like the audience to know about you? Tell us a little bit about kind of your start, where you are now, anything you want to share that will help them understand your journey.
So I grew up hearing about real estate from my dad, who was a real estate attorney, and my bedtime stories would be real estate transactions gone wrong. And so, it started at an early age. My parents like going to open houses, so I would tag along, and then raised my four kids, put my husband through all of his training, and decided it's time to do something for myself. And that was 15 years ago. And I thought, I think I'd like to do real estate. It's just in my blood. So took my license, worked, got my broker's license, and now I'm co-team leaders at the Phyllis Browning Company in San Antonio, and we specialize in listings for the Tri-Cities. So those are zip codes 78209, 78212, but we do all of San Antonio.
Yeah, yeah. And you do a masterful job. And
Uh,
it's so funny. I don't think I knew that story about your
oh,
dad and like the bedtime stories, which is
yeah.
funny 'cause I think people are probably laughing as they're listening because it's like, and you stuck with it after like those were your bedtime stories, the
Well,
things that
it's people, it's problem solving. That's our job. But this was from the lawyer side, so he was
right.
brought in when.
That
And he
was
used to teach real
fan.
estate law. When I was growing up, he was gone every weekend traveling around Texas, teaching the real estate law classes. So yeah, just part of my upbringing.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely in your blood, you kind of felt that calling, and
Yeah.
man, has it turned out to be the right one. So I'm curious, looking back at, because I know a lot of people who are watching or listening might be at that point in their lives where they're just getting into it or evaluating whether it's the right thing for them to do. And I know, when you started, well, how old were your kids when you started in real estate?
My youngest was starting kindergarten, and so I have four daughters. They're spaced 10 years apart. Before that, I had always worked. I'd worked in
Mhm.
my husband's medical practice. So, and I just thought it's time for me to do my own thing. And so looking
Yeah.
around, I thought this is something I can do and be a mom. And then as they have aged, now I'm an empty nester, and I all day, every weekend, and it's fun. It's fun to have my own thing.
Yeah, yeah. It really is. And I think that's something that a lot of us as business owners and entrepreneurs get into this because it gives us our own personal, like it's almost like having another baby, like this business, right? It's like
Yeah.
it really is like we protect it that way, we tend to it that way, we're proud of it that way, we go through the trials and tribulations the same kind of way. Was there, I heard you say your youngest was in kindergarten. Was there like a point where you were like, when the kids are this age, or when it like, so I'm thinking about young moms or young parents who might be listening to this and wondering, is there like that kind of like critical point at which you're like, okay, now it's time, or was it more organic for you?
I think I wished I'd started when I was in my 20s. Instead, I started in my 40s. But yeah. So if you're out there and you're thinking, just go and dig in, do it. Don't wait, and
Okay.
understand that it all takes time. So that would
Mm,
be my advice. No special age. For me, I've had a lot of kids, and uh, was it was a lot. Four school, four kids, four schools. It was busy, so that
mm,
was the best time with my youngest. But looking
yeah.
back, I wish I'd started much earlier.
Yeah, and built it up as you went
Yeah.
and sort of
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it's one of those things where it's a tough dance, right? We always talk about this elusive life work balance that everybody's trying to attain that is, I think, kind of a myth. But especially when you're a parent of young kids, it feels like you're just getting pulled sometimes. The kids have events and they have sporting things that they're doing and they have to get to school and get back from school and you got to figure out a way to feed them and there's a lot of things that happen when you have that. I mean, one kid is one thing and still has a lot. Four kids, that's a whole heck of a lot. So thinking about how do you, what did you find helped you figure out how to make it all work when you were starting to get some traction in real estate?
Well, number one, if you have an appointment, they don't know. No one knows if it's with your kids, taking them lunch at school, or if it's with a client showing houses 40 minutes away. So you don't, a good piece of advice I got years ago was don't explain yourself. Just be like, oh, I'm
Mhm.
booked right then. Can you do it at this time? So you work it that way. That's what I would do. People,
Such great advice. Yeah. And I always say people like to work with busy people. So
yeah,
you're exactly right. You can say I am booked, whether it's like a dentist
mhm,
appointment or it's a school play or what, or it's a
yeah,
client appointment. And
right,
keeping those appointments sacred, I think helps you feel like you're not sacrificing quite as much
yeah,
to, the
yeah,
career that you're
yeah,
building as you're still balancing your life at home and your duties as a mom.
yeah.
When you started to get into flow in real estate, do you remember a time in which you were like, okay, this feels like or has it ever felt like it's less of a grind, like its business is starting to flow in kind of a different way?
I feel that way now, because I'm having fun. So
Mhm.
I would say to keep it from getting worn down, my advice would be curious, try new things, and just go for it, whatever it is. And one of the things that you've taught me is, focus on one thing, get that going, rolling. Then instead of that getting old, now continue that, but focus on something new. And
Yeah.
that's how I've not felt like I was in the grind. Because
Okay.
otherwise, I mean, just a transaction itself is, I mean, there's always a problem. There's always somebody difficult somewhere in it. We all know that, but
Yes.
it's the other stuff that keeps your mind going and chewing on new ideas. So
Mhm. Yeah, and speaking of new ideas, you are a creative mind and you come to our coaching calls with ideas and things you want to work on. And I think for, many of us in real estate, whether you are somebody who's like a real visionary like you are, or whether you're an agent who is, just kind of an innovator, there's so many like shiny objects put in front of us at any given time, right? So what would you say to the person who's like, I don't know which way to go, whether it's which CRM to use or which new platform to try, or, whether it's even like, do I go all in on working with buyers or sellers? How do you make those decisions? I know we do it in coaching some, but what's really helped you?
um well, something Tom Ferry said, be first, be fast. So just
Mm,
make a decision. Don't think about it too hard. I'm not an overanalyzer. And so I take it and I we'll roll with it. And I think that's very helpful. You can, you can have analysis paralysis if you look at things too hard. So that's
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. So implement. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
Implement right away if you get the
solves
idea.
everything.
Uh-huh. There's a lot of shiny objects. So I have a business partner, Suzanne, and I go to all these Tom Ferry things, and she is always like, don't buy anything else. Like, let's, use what we have. And so we
Yes.
have made it our policy. Everything we buy, we learn all about it and we maximize it
Mhm.
before we get something else. And so that's been very helpful to
Mhm.
not having all this stuff that you don't know how to do and you're paying for and, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you, it's really a great piece of advice. How do you do what you just said? How do you learn to use the product fully? Because I think this is another thing. This is one of these things from those outliers versus underperformers. The underperformer wants to optimize before they start to implement or utilize or gain consistency. You do the opposite, although you're learning everything about it and you're optimizing it, you just get it to action. Like you start using whatever the thing
Yeah.
is. What's been your process, or like how do you ensure that happens when you're doing business and you're busy?
So here's an example today. So we have Follow Up Boss as our CRM. We like it. Now it is our third or fourth CRM since we've been a team. And now we're all in. And so I do things like I will call them with a question, but while I'm on the phone with them, I'll say like, look at our account. What am I not utilizing?
Ooh,
And I do much better since you're my
yeah,
coach, one-on-one with a one task. And they're
yeah.
like, add this. You're not utilizing automations for birthdays, which was what today was. So I was like, oh man, that's so
Mm,
easy.
mm,
So guess what? Now I'm doing that. We do the same thing with like Fellow. We have a
mm.
once a month call with Desmond, our guy there. We call luxury presence, and I'll have them analyze our account. I'm like, okay, what are we paying for that we're not using? So it's a lot of just making a decision to make those phone calls instead of trying to figure it out myself. I have the expert tell me, and then I
Yeah.
implement. Hmm.
Oh, that's so smart. So instead of just like watching a million webinars or tutorials,
Oh no,
reaching out.
yes,
But most people that wouldn't occur. So this is like such a nugget of gold, guys, for those who are listening and watching. If you have a platform, and I hear all the time people saying things like, I subscribe to this. I'm not getting anything from it. What experience are you guys having? And often people will come back and be like, I'm doing really, really great with that. And what are you doing to implement it? And then the person will go, oh yeah, it's me. Like I'm the problem, right? I'm the one who's not doing it. But don't ever realize what you just said, that there's this available resource that if you just tap into it, you just ask the question, you'll get the answer. But it's kind of like, using AI, you got to ask the right question or ask the question at all
yeah.
to get the answer. So, so great. So great. All right. So, and the other thing I want to say too is calendaring for it. So you also mentioned that you have these one-on-ones or these sessions with your fellow rep. That's important too. And I think some people don't realize that those things are available. Like almost every platform we have, there's some kind of back-end tech support that will gladly do a call for you or for you and your team if you're a team leader and get on and like help you learn how to use it at a higher level. We're investing in these things. You might as well use them. And don't do the thing where you've subscribed to it for so long and then you cancel it without seeing whether there's some juice to squeeze out of it, because there almost always is.
Yes.
Great, great, great point. Now, I want to ask you too about one of the things that you always say when we or often say when we come onto a call together, or you'll put in, we have a check-in form that I send you before. You'll say, I need some book recommendations. What should I read next, right?
Yeah.
So you are a I'm going to say you've got a voracious appetite for like knowledge and reading and figuring out what pieces you can pull in to help you grow as a person, grow as a business leader. Tell the audience why you feel that that's important. And if they're not readers, which I do get some people who sometimes reach out and say, I love all your recommendations, but I'm not a reader. What else can I do? What do you say to that?
Well, I am in my car a lot, as I think if all of us are. So
Hmm.
I almost exclusively do books on tape.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it was a challenge that Tom put out to us maybe a year and a half ago. Instead of listening to music, listen to a book. And I'm like, oh man, because I love my music. But I started and now I'm addicted. And churn through the books. Right now I'm reading Grit. Highly recommend. Angela Duckworth, I think.
Yep,
Highly,
yep.
highly recommend. Before that, I re-listened to Time as a Tool, which we talked
Mm,
about. And my advice to everybody is listen to every book you can get your hands on and try to glean one thing that's
mm,
interesting or you're curious about and then put it into action. And it will change your business, change your life, really. You don't know what you don't know. And so
yeah.
these are experts in all different areas. So
Great, great, great tip. Okay. So I want to take you back now to when you were starting to get into action. Your kids are in school, you're starting to be a real estate agent. Do you remember what your first either like win was or something hard that happened that you learned from that made you change the way that you did your business?
well, I think every time we have a difficult client or a difficult situation, the only good thing that comes out of it is you learn a lesson. And so all of every the where I am today are the lessons, hard lessons learned. But I
Mm.
will say, I got my license that day. I took a call. It was January 1st, 2012. Took a call, got a listing that day. It was the craziest thing. I went, met him. He said yes. I mean, I was so new. I didn't know what. I put a sign in the yard. I got a call that day with a full priced offer.
Okay, wait. I gotta stop you because I know the person listening is like, how? Tell me, sprinkle some of that fairy dust on me. Like, did you know that 63% of sellers and buyers choose their agent based on local proximity? That's why farming or geo farming is such a proven method for long term success in real estate. If you've been considering becoming a farmer or a geo farmer in your market, but not sure how to get started, check out Farming for Real Estate Agents. This blueprint will walk you through exactly how to choose a geofarm area, how to figure out by running some calculations whether the farm area that you're selecting can support your goals, and will help you track your return on investment. You'll also hear from locally famous farmers who have already dominated their market shares, so you can R&D their secrets and dominate the area that you choose to geofarm.
Well, all that sounds so simple, that transaction. Get the
Well, it
listing, put
sounds
the sign
like
in the yard, get a phone call.
magical.
It
Yeah.
was
So
amazing.
take me back to how, okay, where the fall, you said you got a call and got a listing.
So my very first brokerage was called Corey Properties. I talked to Corey, the owner, and she
Yeah.
hired me, which was great. I took like a phone up time on New Year's Day because, of course, I'm an eager agent and my husband could be home to babysit. I got a listing, come list me call. I went out there, met this nice man and that was selling a house, and he signed the listing agreement there. And we agreed on a price. And then I went, got the sign, put it in the yard, and like put it in MLS. I figured it all out. I got a call that day. It was the craziest thing. It's like, I thought, oh, this is so easy. No, it was not easy because my client was um it it took maybe 200 hours of talking to him to get him to agree to actually sign the offer. I mean, I'm talking
Mm,
weeks. These potential buyers had to wait because he was nervous about selling it once he actually got the offer, and then he thought he was selling it for too low. I mean, it was a whole thing. So that a lesson would be, if it's never easy.
right. It isn't, but I think there's a couple more lessons in here too. And let me ask you one more question before I say this. How much, before you went out to the listing appointment, how much training had you done? Did you do seller objection handling script training? Did you have did you go do deep research on the list, potential listing? What did you how'd you prep?
I looked it up. I did the comps on MLS. I just thought, well, here's the range of where it should be. Let me see
Hmm.
the house and I'll suggest a number. And I went out there. He had a number which was right in my range. And I'll tell you, it was 99,000. So that tells you how
Wow. I can
$99,000.
imagine.
And anyway, and then the people that bought the house ended up buying the house. I ended up representing them on a sale as well. And so, I mean,
Amazing. So it was
it
like
was
the
a,
snowball that started. Yeah.
mhm.
Okay.
It was fun.
Do you remember how you were able to close him? Because I know this is something that probably the person watching or listening is wondering, what was the magic phrase that you said that caused him to sign the listing agreement while you were there? First
I think
appointment.
I would just say persistence. There was no magic phrase. It was just talking through his fears, talking him off the ledge,
Mm,
talking him about it again. He was probably in his 90s, and it took a lot of talking. And
yes.
but I mean, I wasn't busy, so I had the time to talk. And I remember, at night he'd call me nervous and pacing up and down my front yard so that he wouldn't hear my kids and dogs in the house. Talking to him. My husband coming out in the front porch like, "What's going on?" So, but I
Yes.
got to the finish line finally. It was like that was a victory.
That was a win.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then to get a spin-off
yeah,
transaction.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So a couple of things I want to just highlight here. So if you're an experienced agent, you're listening or watching, I think we're like all nodding our heads, that pacing on the driveway, man. We've all been there, right? Having that conversation with somebody that is in their own way. And we just have to like help them see the
yeah,
forest through the trees, ask the right questions, be empathetic, and help them understand how that we can lead them to the down the path that they've told us they want to walk down, but they're like getting in their own way a little bit. But I also want to point out two beautiful things. When you put yourself in a place of opportunity, that
yeah.
New Year's Day phone duty, I mean, how many agents say no to that, regardless of how hungry they say they are, regardless of where they are in their process or their journey as a real estate agent. 90% of agents probably would be like, I'm not taking calls on New Year's Day. And you're like, I'll take calls anytime. I want
Yeah,
this
come
because
on,
that
bring
has
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I recently said to somebody, and I said this in my last episode, I always say, I found one of the secrets to my success is I work while other people rest. And whether that's like when, I'm doing a workout and they're like, now rest for 30 seconds. I'm like, I'm doing squats for 30 seconds. I'm gonna waste
Yeah.
30 seconds. I only got half an hour. So then, and those sorts of things too. If you're there in the place of opportunity when it comes and you're one of the few people there, it's gonna pay off for you. And then the other thing is you got into quick action, which is why I was asking you about like how much research did you do? Because so many agents, especially newer agents, if you're listening, this is an important message. Don't bog yourself down with a million analyses of
Oh,
all the things. Pull a CMA together, grab some comps, go out there, pull your bootstraps up and just be like, you know what you're doing. You're a
yeah.
skilled person and be a human. Have a conversation with another person. And then that persistence piece. I mean, that is like the key, that kind of tenacity is the key to success, I think, in this and many other entrepreneurial industries is being able to just be like, stay with it, stay in front of it, stay, and don't go hide from the thing. Keep going
Yeah.
until you get the yes. And all the magic can happen. So I do have to say, I feel like the real estate gods were making it very clear that this profession was meant for you because you had like, I mean, they're like, yeah, you're in the right place, Caroline. Do the right thing. And then it's so funny how they come back and they go, haha, not quite so easy, right? Now I'm going to give you a challenge that I'm going to help you like build some muscle through, but then I'm also going to give you a reward. And I think that's like often how this works. If you just stay at it, just keep honing your craft and be there and jump at it. Like, know, have that instinct to know when opportunity is there for you.
Yeah.
Go grab it. That brass ring, when it lowers itself, don't ignore it because it may not come back again. So then that was like the snowball. That was the
Yeah.
snowball that started it all. Okay, so let me now fast forward you to when you decided that you wanted to be a chosen agent. So we often talk about you getting on like everybody's consideration list for a listing. So you decided to go in all in on listings, and you decided you want to have market dominance in the
Yes.
Tri-Cities area. So when was it that you said, you know what, this is what I want to set my sights on? And what is it that you think has helped you most gain that dominant position?
Well, it was my Tom Ferry training and working with you that just thought instead of being a generalist, I'm going to be a specialist and just own what I am. and own my avatar, as we've talked about. And we do have lots of other people that we help and we love helping, but who we do all of our marketing towards and um, really lean in towards are our sellers, Tri-City. So in San Antonio, that's a neighborhood. I live in it. Suzanne lives in it. My kids graduated high school here. We're out. We see people in the neighborhoods. Um, what was the second part of your question?
So what was it that you think has like started to get you toward that dominant?
Oh, I think just making the decision that that's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And every single thing we do is with that in mind. Um, and it's easy to want to like talk all about San Antonio is maybe the seventh largest city in the United States. We're a big city,
Yeah.
lots of neighborhoods, about 9 million people, I think. So it's big. I think there's 13,000 real estate agents, something like that. So lots of competition. I don't worry
Mhm.
about anybody else. I just do my thing. And one of
Us.
the things that we have said is, as we know, everyone's brother, mother, sister in law, best friend, cousin is a real estate agent. And
Mhm.
so they can't always use us, but we
Mhm.
always want them to wish they could use us. And so
Mhm.
that is,
Yeah.
we've got very thick skin.
Yeah.
There's enough business for everybody, but I want everybody to wish that they were part of our properties group team,
Yeah.
one of our clients, because they get the best service. We get the job done. We treat them with respect. We make them feel loved every step of the way, including years after they've closed.
Yeah.
Stay in
Yeah.
touch. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's being able to really focus on one, the goal, and then understand like the people and the relationships are part of the goal.
Yeah.
It's so important. And you guys do that so, so beautifully. And I do want to point out that what you just said, because I want to make sure everybody heard it, is when you have a distinct and clear goal, it becomes a focus filter for everything else you do. So it's very easy for you to say no to things. And as we know, the most successful business people in the world say no the most. And it's that one of the hardest things we do is say no to something that looks like an opportunity, but it's really a potential distraction from the main focus. So when you're super clear on what your focus is, it distills everything else that you do in a very meaningful way. The other thing I want to point out is that you have gained very effective visibility. I want to put it that way in terms of your social media. So, you started podcasting, you started doing community highlights, Instagram. So, for you who have not checked out Caroline on Instagram, check her out, Caroline. Tell everybody your Instagram handle.
It's at Park Properties Group is our Instagram. PARK Properties Group.
Yeah, and you're going to get an idea that is very impressive of how viral, like literally, you've had videos go viral. What's that video, the one that was like the original viral or the one that went most viral? Do you know how many
It,
watches
it
that's up to?
it was, I think, over 200,000 last I
Yeah.
checked. I mean, but now a lot of ours go over 100,000. It's so strange, but I
Well,
mean, you
it's
can't, those, I call those vanity metrics because I don't really know that that means. I mean, people, I'm happy that people watch, but really, I want our clients and our sphere to know that
Mhm.
we're serious. So,
Yeah.
we do this all day, every day. We know what we're doing, and it's just proof of that. It's kind of
Yeah.
what my thinking is.
Yeah, well, and I think the fact that you're getting more and more visibility, it comes from that. So although it might feel like vanity metrics, what we know is the algorithm likes the views. So it's going
Well,
to
we're
serve
good.
you
Yeah.
to more people. And if you see it, you'll see when you guys go on her channel, it is not just although many things do go viral now, it isn't just viral style videos. You're educating the market. You're letting people know about what it's like to live in that area. You're showing people the beauty of the architecture. You're doing some cool personality stuff too, like introducing your sister who's a stylist and all these cool things that you're doing that show like who you are as a person and your personality and very importantly what it's like to work with you and the fact that you have this exceptional local market knowledge and a clear love for the area that you live. So like all those things together, I think create this kind of like alchemy that will become a magnet and has become a magnet to draw people to you. So all of that, super, super impressive. And then the other thing is Google reviews. So a couple of like tactical pieces. That was one of the things that we worked on a lot, and you're working on still, I know, is making
Yes.
sure that those pieces go hand in hand. So and this is, you're a creative, but you're also very systematic in some of the things that you do, many of the things that you do, the Google review piece being one of them. So what would you say to the agent who is like, I have like one Google review, or I don't even have a Google business page? What is your sort of like key for your success kind of overall for getting those reviews built up?
Well, first of all, we do like the rocks, like a Q1 rocks. So,
Mhm.
for example, we typically now have three things that we work on, and we set a goal for the Google reviews. Uh,
Mhm.
Now with AI, there's you need reviews on lots of places, so that's we're adjusting that a little bit. But um, so we have found if you're if you're actively engaged in real estate, you let them know at the beginning that you'll ask for a review and go and send them the link, middle, before the closing. If you don't get it, it's really hard to get after the closing. It just is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we try to get them beforehand. And then what you can do is when you get a review, you can, thank them, of course. We send a handwritten thank you letter when they do the review, but then you can also cut and paste that Google review and send them another email. It's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Do you mind also putting this on Zillow? Like the review was so good, and give them
Yeah.
the link to the Zillow. So
Yes.
you can try to optimize one and the other. I would say persistence. It does not have to be clients. It can be contractors you work with,
Great point.
and um, things like that. So,
Yeah.
and they don't have to, don't lie, don't have them lie. Just be like, I have worked with Caroline on in many homes. Like we've had our contractor do, and she's great to work with.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we do all of her painting or whatever the deal is. So
Yeah.
we people know. I mean, it's a very transparent.
Yeah, yeah. And in reality, what we know is most people aren't going through and like reading every single review. So they're not going to be like, oh, that's from a contractor. If you're brand new to this, they're looking for number of reviews, first of all. And that is one way that AI is going to find you and serve you up to potential clients. So important that you do. But having a goal and having a system, those are the
Yeah.
two things that I really heard. Like you set a goal for yourself and
Yes.
you created like a little SOP for how to get
Yes.
it done and when to do it. So it
Yes.
became repeatable and
Yes.
consistent. So, so, so important. All right, so I can't even believe this goes so fast. I knew it was going to with you, especially because you've got such a wealth of things to share. One more question I want to ask you, and then I'm going to see what you would like to share. Anything else for the audience is one of the things that I have always thought was so admirable about the way that you approach this business is you do it out of like pure joy. I mean, you do it as a smart business person. But what's the phrase that your parents would always say? What was the one?
Maximum fun.
Maximum fun. Okay. So I
Yes.
love that. And I feel like you infuse your business with that
Yeah.
same kind of like DNA. Like it's a maximum fun kind of business because this should be fun. And
Yeah.
you find ways to travel and enjoy life with your family and do fun things.
Yeah.
So, you're a great example of it doesn't have to be about you're behind a closed door in an office 24 hours a day, working all the time. I know because this is like a love for you. You think about it all the time and you do it all the time, like all of us do. But you find ways to really, like, again, like squeeze the joy out of it. So,
Yeah.
for the person right now who's listening and is finding that they are experiencing burnout,
Ugh.
overwhelm, lack of presence with the people that are most important to them. They remember a time when they had a dream to travel or have just a little joy in their lives. What would you say to them to get themselves back into a place? They're super successful, but they've tilted all the way toward business and their life is feeling imbalanced. How would you advise them?
I would plan the things that are important to you first in your calendar, the
Mm-hmm.
non-negotiables that whether it's like showing up for your daughter's recital or going out of town with your husband, or I do trips with my mom and sister twice a year. Those are non-negotiable. I mean, if I miss something or if I lose a client because I'm not here doing an open house, I'm okay with that because those are so important. But I found that people are very understanding.
Yeah.
And yeah, put those in your calendar first and then do work around it.
Yes.
I think that's the key. Also on burnout, I have downloaded the Calm app, and I would say that if you can go home or find a quiet place during lunch, I have like a 10-minute meditation will
Ah,
reset you for the afternoon. That's been very helpful.
that is great. Again, like such great, just absolutely implementable tools that people can use and advice you can go and just take this. I think everybody who's listening to this needs to go download the transcript and just look for the pieces or load it into your favorite large language model and ask for the tactical tools and tips that Caroline gave you that you should add to your business and your life today to make this a more successful career and a more enjoyable career for all of us. You've given us so much of that. All right, we covered, I mean, I got so much more that I could ask you, and I'll have to have you again on the show because I want to ask you some like team leader things too. But what else would you like to share that we haven't yet covered today?
Well, I would say have your one big hairy goal for the year and go with it with intense focus. That makes it fun and take celebrate your victories. Like I've told our team, like when we don't quite have 5,000 followers on Instagram, but like when we get to 5,000, we're going to celebrate. Um, so, but pick one big thing and then have the rocks kind of be the pieces. So each quarter tackle a little piece to get to the big goal. So that's number one. Um, I think that real estate is changing, um, and you're going to get questions wherever you go. If people know you're in real estate, your house, the market, have a pat answer that you're ready to say, so you're not stumbling around when people ask you that. Um, and one of the things my old boss years ago told me is wherever you go, have a business card. And so if we go to formal events or the rodeo, we're in South Texas, there's lots of, things, fiesta. I always have my business cards. And if people ask me, I hand them a business card and I like put it in my phone, a note to myself to contact them. And then I put them in my CRM. And so that kind of focus is,
Good way to be. Yeah.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
one last thing, if no one has done it, I am a ninja, like the ninja training. I highly recommend ninja training. Just it
Mhm.
keeps it real simple and it keeps you in flow with your clients. And that's been very helpful. Besides the big
Yeah.
ideas, that's just an everyday way to live.
Yeah, 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 and great way to stay in touch with your past clients too, that you want to
Yeah.
continue to be in relationship with, and not being that
Yes.
agent that does the transaction and then never sees the client
Yeah.
again, who then the client goes and works with somebody else. That's not the case with you. You stay in flow, so they stay in flow with you. Great stuff. Caroline, thank you so much. All right, so if somebody wants to find you for real estate services, tell us where you kind of told us already, but where specifically you want people to help sell and or buy. And if somebody wants to learn more about how you operate your team or just has a question for you, what's the best way for them to get in contact?
Well, there's a couple things. You can check out our website. It's parkpropertiesgroup.com. And you can get on our Instagram and direct message. It's at Park Properties Group. You can, I'm happy if you want to text or call me directly. Can I give my cell phone on
Yeah,
this? Okay,
please.
I wasn't sure. 210-313-2904. Happy to talk to anybody. If you're an agent and you just want to ask a question, happy to. What I have found is if you have an abundance mentality in real estate, as in life, it
Mhm.
just makes it so much more fun. So why keep everything to myself? I'm happy to always share whatever I can.
Awesome. Yeah, you're incredibly generous, which is certainly part of why you are as successful as you are, because just like you said, you put that energy out there, it flows right back to you. Yeah. Well, thank you for bringing your energy to our show. You have been such a
Meredith.
fantastic guest. I know our audience is going to reach out to you. Hopefully your phone doesn't blow up too much, but I certainly hope that they will follow you on Instagram, check out what you have to offer, and send referrals your
Yeah, San
way.
Antonio.
Yep.
Send me any
Yeah.
referrals.
Yep, yep. All right. Thank you so, so much. So we'll have you on again. I hope everybody has
Thank
gotten
you.
some great value out of this. We would love it if you would leave us a review or a rating on the platform on which you are listening. If you're watching on YouTube, just please hit that subscribe button so you see upcoming episodes of our show. Caroline, thank you again. Thanks everybody for listening and watching. This has been So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. We'll see you next time.
Bye, Meredith.